See, on one hand, we have all these discoveries that we're finding in these rivers, these lakes, and all of these things are answering questions, the ancient history, all of that good stuff. And then on the other hand, what are we losing to get this stuff? What are we losing in the process? So you got to take the good with the bad and everything that we're seeing, right? So we're going to continue to look at some of these underwater discoveries and different things like that. This video here is titled, "The Jordan River has finally dried up and something terrifying is happening." So we're going to get into it. So if you're new, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, join the fam, and hit that like button for more content. Let's check it out.
With a rapidly declining water level, many shocking realities are coming to the surface. Unbelievable remains of the past, astonishing heritage, prehistoric pathways leading to distressing warnings, and many mythical creatures. Let's get ready to watch what terrifying things were discovered in rivers. Ancient bison skull. Revealing the unknown once again, this river in eastern Montana brought centuries-old bison skulls. A guy was out there fishing when he spotted a giant skeleton floating towards him. After bringing it to the bank, he realized that nothing ordinary, but it was an ancient head. This time, two friends, going out to explore the Missouri River because the water was low, came back with an enormous fossil with a pair of horns still attached to it.
It's a heck of a
So,
find.
trying to know more about it, they decided to send their discovery to an archaeologist who, after weeks of research, revealed that it was no doubt a fossil of an ancient bison, or could belong to an extinct species of bison that they accidentally found.
Wow.
Dinosaur Tracks. Most rivers around the world are drying up, and in some places, the fading water is revealing very shocking truths from the past. One of those hidden realities was uncovered a few years back when a river in Texas was dried up from some place. An expected trail of monstrous-sized footprints was exposed to the world. The huge triangular-shaped footprints were believed to be left by Anthracanthsaurus, a large prehistoric high-spined lizard that was estimated to be 14,000 pounds in weight. This place was considered to be the seashore in the past, where this 113-million-year-old dinosaur roamed, and now it was providing a once-in-a-lifetime sighting. Buddhist statue.
Bro, with that size of dinosaurs, you think about it, if we did coexist when they were around, they wouldn't be able to sneak up on us, bro, not being that big.
Not just prehistoric footprints or bones, but the drought has brought us some of the most unbelievable structures from our history.
Yeah.
The increasing heat wave in China and the plunging water level in the Yangtze River have helped a trio of Buddhist statues to emerge on the surface after 600 years. The three statues were found on the highest part of an island in the southwestern part of the country and are believed to have been built during the Ming and Qing dynasties. One of them depicts a monk sitting on a lotus pedestal. The iconic sculptures are carved into a prominent rock outcrop and now provide a detailed view into the historic evidence of an ancient wisdom tradition. A century-old shipwreck. Disappearing rivers can put the world in the worst drought, but in some places, they have helped people to look into the life of ancient humans. Apart from long submerged treasure, warnings, and statues, the drought across Europe has also revealed hulks of warships. Hidden for more than a century, here are the remains of a huge ship that came into view again due to the lowering of the water level in the Mississippi River. The ruins belong to the Brook Hill Ferry, which sank in 1915, but how it plunged and why it was left abandoned is still a mystery to be uncovered. Mummified Crocs. Well, this entry is just as weird as the title might suggest.
Seriously?
Mummified Crocs. You might think of it as kind of an ancient craft, but these river monsters were preserved by nature. This out-of-the-ordinary discovery was made by archaeologists while they were clearing sand pits near the dried-up bank of the River Nile. The team was shocked to find huge remains of ancient reptiles, 5 of which were just heads, and 5 others completely intact, dried-up bodies. Another mind-blowing discovery was made a few years back in Australia, where the remains of an ancient crocodile have challenged ideas about the origin and evolution of the crocodile species. The fossilized remains of the crocodile, named Confractosuchus saurochtonos, is dubbed the broken dinosaur killer that once lived on our planet and is now 95 million years old. Mammoth tusk and skull. Walking along the riverbank not only brings you the most fertile soil, sometimes it can allow you to peek into the past. Such a remarkable glimpse into prehistoric times was experienced by an explorer while he was scouting the muddy bank of a river in Siberia. An estimated 10-foot-long mammoth tusk was found on the silt edge.
Can y'all say cha-ching? Anytime I've ever seen one of them being discovered, fam, somebody's always able to cash out.
And was believed to belong to an ancient giant elephant that might have roamed the land some 4 to 5 million years ago. The discovery wasn't just ended here, as upon moving further, a huge mammoth skull of the same animal was also waiting to be discovered. Both the tusk
Just
and skull,
there.
along with some other prehistoric remains, are now on display in a museum. Spanish Stonehenge. Usually mistaken as ancient people's tombs, Stonehenges have once again outrun the water and appear for the first time in 50 years. First discovered in the year 1926 during a drought, they disappeared again during a flood. And once more, they are signaling another drought. Archaeologists are pleased to see them, as they would finally be able to research the stones. Because many human remains are found in the surroundings of these stones, archaeologists believe there might be a possibility of them actually being tombstones. But nothing can be said further until their research is concluded. Ancient Glyptodon. While walking with his cattle along a dried-up stream in Argentina, a farmer stumbled upon some unfamiliar protrusions near the edge that, after a closer look, turned out to be some huge rocky structures. Later, the local authorities were informed, who properly investigated the area to unearth the specimen, and were stunned as the supposed rocky structures turned out to be the fossilized remains of an enormous Glyptodon. These car-sized
I would have for sure thought those was like dinosaur eggs as big as them jokers was.
shells of ancient animals are believed to be 20,000 years old and were facing the same direction, as if they were all walking towards something. 2 of them were adults and 2 were young. The heavy shells were extracted by using a digger, and further analyses are being made to find the exact age and the cause of the collapse of these prehistoric mega beasts. 500-year-old skeleton. A few years back, dried-up parts of the River Thames offered an incredible view after showing a human skeleton wearing long leather boots. The medieval skeleton was found during excavation work and shocked the workers with his thigh-high boots with sturdy, reinforced double soles, stuffed with a material that might have been moss to keep the wearer's feet warm or to make the boots fit more snugly. The skeleton was believed to be 500 years old and was providing a glimpse into the life of ancient London some 500 years prior. How he ended up there is still unknown. However, the boots, combined with evidence from his bones, suggest he might have died on the river while trying to earn a living. Under River Cave. The longest and historically the most important river of Western Asia hides many mysteries and stories that very few people know about them. This is the story of the Euphrates River that is being observed drying up like many other major rivers of the world. The plunging water level has revealed many peculiar structures, and one of them is this mysterious underground opening. According to archaeologists, this might be an entrance of a cave under this ancient river. However, there is also a possibility that this might be an opening to a buried tomb, access to which could help researchers study about the life of early peoples. Huge fossil found. Small or big, size doesn't matter if it's an actual fossil, as it will always be a huge discovery, especially when they're related to the Miocene era. anything would become extraordinary. As known as the first geological epoch, it is believed to be millions of years old, where people usually find shark teeth and fossils relating to the species of sharks. The scientists state that not just them, but the Miocene era was filled with many more incredible fishes, reptiles, and wild animals. Like here, this man found a huge piece of fossil, definitely not of a shark. Therefore, he decided to take it to the research lab so more about the incredible era could become known.
Bruh, if you live back in those times, it wasn't a whole lot of beach vacations going down. You see some of the stuff that was in the water? Yeah, no thank you.
Horned crocodile.
No.
A twist in the history of crocodiles took place when a team of researchers, while hunting for something extraordinary, dove into a flooded underwater cave in Australia and were able to find a shocking crocodile species that went extinct some 2,000 years ago. It was not just an 8-million-year-old skull. For scientists, it was enough to learn about the evolution of crocodiles. Known as the horned crocodile, the discovered skull was believed to be part of an extinct species new to the scientific community, but how it went extinct is one of the biggest mysteries. However, after analyzing the collected specimen, they are hopeful to fit the horned croc into the story of crocodile evolution. Unicorn skull. If you think unicorns are something entirely related to the mythical world, then get ready to be proved wrong. As recently, a few fossils have been found by some local men that hint that not at all legendary, but unicorns were actual animals that lived before humans. Or could be present along humans. Who knows? Well, at first, this engineer from Egypt, while working on the pyramids, found the unicorn skull. While the researchers are not quite sure if they were real or not, they did tell the people that one such creature was present in the world, but despite looking like a horse with a big horn over its eyes, it had more resemblance with a rhino. 90-million-year-old fish. While competing in a fishing competition in the Missouri River, an Elkhorn man made a catch of a lifetime that blew the entire competition out of the water. After a lousy cast, his lure hung up on a rock, so he paddled his kayak over to free it up. It was exactly when he spotted some bones that were first assumed to be the remains of a deer or a catfish, so he snapped a pic and returned to fishing. But after sharing the pictures online, the bones turned out to be fossilized remains of a prehistoric fish, known as a bulldog. The 20-foot-long fish was believed to be 90 million years old, that ranged across the shallow water during the early Cretaceous period.
I never even heard of a bulldog fish, and I'm a Gators fan in college football, so I hate anything bulldog anyway, but I've never even heard of a bulldog fish, man. Where they seem like they just be making this stuff up at some point.
Unknown skeleton.
Bulldog fish. What?
While strolling near a river a few years back in Vietnam, a guy noticed a strange-looking object lying on the bank. Filled with curiosity, he decided to investigate the object that for him was something like a skeleton of an unknown species. With a shapeless head mounted on a twisted body and long, skinny legs, no feature of that mysterious structure was resembling any existing creature. The unidentified skeleton remained a mystery until it was brought to a lab where it was analyzed and all suspense vanished, as the unknown skeleton turned out to be nothing more than a part of an old tree trunk that grew oddly and took the shape of some otherworldly creature. Wolfdog. Dying somewhere between 6 to 9 weeks of age, being older than 50,000 years, meet Zir, the ancient yet the youngest wolf pup found in permafrost near Dawson City of Yukon Territory. With only her eyes missing, researchers called it the perfect wolf mummy that they have ever found. As with all 100% of her torso and even her internal organs still intact. While they are still examining the small mummy, they ruled out that she must have died because of starvation, and the worst case would be a predator's attack, as being so fragile, she would have been unable to defend herself. Monster fish. If there would be a word other than huge, I'd have to use it here, as just huge is not enough to describe its gigantic size.
If y'all ever caught something with that big, would y'all try to eat it or be too scared because it's too huge, it's too big, and you thinking that your mind is gonna mess with you and make you think all sorts of things, right? Or is it on some type of a steroid that it ingested or something through the water? Maybe they was spilling something into the water, it got a hold of it, and now that's why it's huge. Like, I don't think I could bring myself to eat a fish that big. Nah, I would swear something's wrong with it.
Lifted up by more than a group of 5 people, here we have an incredibly large fish that was found a few years back alongside a river in the Dominican Republic of the Caribbean region. Known as a Goliath grouper, the massive fish was accidentally caught in a fishing net and was found lifeless. Since it was not an everyday catch, despite dumping the rare carcass, it was decided to transfer it to a research center to deeply analyze the cause of its death.
Yeah, them groupers
Drought surviving fish. In extreme water flow or with no water at all, this fish can survive in almost all conditions. Usually living in the waters of Africa, when the drought comes, it becomes an air-breathing mammal, thus given the name of lungfish. So basically, like any other fish, they do have gills which help them to extract oxygen from the water, but they also have lungs. But because breathing is not the only thing necessary for survival during dry times, they have a layer of mucus present around their body, which works as a main source of food during the drought, as containing necessary nutrients from the mucus. They can stay alive for up to a year and will come back in the water when it rains. Unknown river monster.
You look at that.
Rivers are, no doubt, providing shelter to some of those creatures that are actually hidden from the human eye for an unknown period of time. One such mysterious creature was spotted during an aerial survey when a drone was flying over the Coatzacoalcos River in Mexico. Under the murky river water, the creature appeared as a huge object and was filmed floating fearlessly. Nothing much about the figure is known, as it quickly managed to disappear in the foggy waves. However, some speculated that this might be evidence of a Loch Ness monster, but no one is exactly sure about it, as it might be some other river monster lurking below. Mermaid Tail. Either some huge freshwater creature or a mermaid has found its way to the river. This freaky creature was filmed almost a decade back when a couple of fishermen were out fishing in the River Siren. Suddenly, at a distance of a few meters from their boat, they noticed a huge tail splashing through the water's surface.
Wow.
At first, it was thought to be some kind of dolphin, but it was uncommon for these mammals to survive in that kind of habitat. Also, the forked tail was pointing towards something mythical underwater creature. However, it was also assumed that it might be a seal-hunting fish. But since nothing more than a tail was spotted, the couple was sure that they had managed to capture some glimpse of a mermaid lurking in the river. Weird being.
The heck is that?
Neither from the dried up river's portion nor lurking on the water's surface. This time, a weird being was found a few steps away from the riverbank. It was when a guy searching for his lost pet stumbled upon something really otherworldly. Lying on the muddy ground, there was a strange body. Puzzled at first, then he decided to closely examine it with the help of a tree branch holding in his hand. Pinkish skin, a slippery, stiff body.
That better be fake. That better be fake, bro. Like the rubbery exterior of it makes it look kind of fake to me. I hope so.
And unfamiliar looking features. The creature literally looked like a result of some failed scientific experiment, as none of its features resembled any existing life form. Well, it was also assumed to be the rotting body of some amphibian, but no one is confident enough to state anything about this weird being.
It's that green
Tiny
stuff coming out.
humanoid alien. Known to be mysterious for ages, the river of Utah's Area 51 is a famous place to spot strange things. Therefore, deciding to spend her day there in hopes of finding something eerie by herself, a woman was
Y'all are crazy to go there.
shocked when one popped up, hanging to a rock.
Nope.
Looking just like a human. A tiny one, though. Another thing which added to its creepy features was the stripy body. Therefore, when the lady uploaded the video on the internet, asking if anyone could identify the creature, it started an online debate, with many calling it a dummy, while the majority believed that it was an actual alien creature that she had captured. Strange creature. A mutated fish? A dead alien baby? Or some new species emerging from the water, laying dead on the riverbank with a slimy body and a fishy structure? This mysterious creature was found in the UK. The creature was less than a meter tall, and because nobody could detect its species, the authorities were called, quickly coming to the scene, though they took the alien being in their custody and assured that more about it would be revealed soon. Even after a year, nothing has been made clear, which increased the suspicions of it being something really creepy. Prehistoric Creature. A nightmarish turn of events took place in a Chinese river with these fishermen. While returning home after a long day fishing, they felt a huge disruption in the river's water. It happened in the Yangtze River of China in the year 2017. So assuming it might be a shark that was coming towards them, preparing to catch it, it was when the hiding monster came a little too close, they had the opportunity to look upon the eerie features of the creature.
All these cell phones today, and we can't get a clear picture, bro. Come on now. I'm saying at this point, bro, I'm getting frustrated.
A long snout, strange eyes, and an even stranger torso. Maneuvering through the waters, it shocked the fishermen to their cores. But what was this alien-looking fish? A mutated alligator gar, or some Loch Ness monster captured by them? Let me know what you guys think. Beast crossing river. When you are boating on a river, there's no telling what you may or may not come across. While cruising in an unexplored part of the Amazon River, a man noticed a strange creature walking in the river, assuming a bear crossing the river. Just when he tried to get a closer look, it turned out to be some other biped beast, which had no resemblance with any known creature. Also, it was almost impossible for any wild being to cross the river swiftly, as this beast had managed to do. Just by seeing the size of the animal, the guy didn't think it'd be a good idea to come in close contact. However, he managed to capture those rare moments by maintaining a safe distance, and let researchers get some more clues about the unknown beast lurking among the unexplored woods. Living King Rat. Now, this masterpiece of strange phenomena was filmed in Russia, when a farmer was surveying his crops to check the possible presence of rodents in his fields. Yet his routine survey turned out to be the strangest discovery of his life when he started to look below the greenery. Moving the branches apart, he saw a bizarre cluster of rats entangled and trembling to get free. Uncanny at first, later this unusual rodent bundle turned out to be a rat king, a collection of rats with tails intertwined and bound together. Usually, rats found in this situation don't survive, yet it was for the first time that a living rat king of 5 mice was spotted. In folklore, rat kings are associated with various superstitions and were often seen as a bad omen, particularly associated with plagues. Cyclops Fish. You might have seen many strange creatures in your life, but I'm sure this Cyclops Fish was gonna be the strangest of all. And that was not just a Cyclops, but an albino Cyclops fish. This white fetus with a terrifying single eye was found in Mexico by a fisherman, who at first couldn't believe his eyes when he spotted this bizarre-looking creature. The utterly unusual creature was found inside the belly of its mother, along with its other siblings, and no one other than this fish was found with a single functioning eye at the front of its head. The extremely rare albino Cyclops fish was announced as one-of-its-kind discovery, but unfortunately, it couldn't manage to survive long and died shortly after.
Yeah, definitely a birth complication, you can see.
Human footprint. There was a time when people used to believe that dinosaurs existed long before humans. Well, that time is still here. But though very less, a few discoveries indicate the opposite. One of which is this: a human footprint that was found alongside the dinosaurs. A man from Texas was...
So, are we gonna bring back up the topic and start the conversation of giants again? Are we? You see a footprint that big, you kind of got to.
walking through the dried river when he came across giant footprints. At first, thinking this might be some huge creature, he was shocked when he examined them closely, as they turned out to be of a man.
It has the characteristics of a human footprint, except it is extremely large.
And another even more shocking thing was that the prints were presented side by side with dino tracks. So, does that mean the two used to coexist? Or do you have a better explanation? Hunger stones. If you see me, weep. With such harsh words written on them, the stones indicating hunger and famine appeared once again.
Wow.
Initially placed by the German governments in the 1600s when severe droughts hit the region, they served as a medium of communication among the hungry people that came looking for food and the government, which were later drowned in the rivers. But not just stones made by the government, but actually many people wrote on them to let future generations be aware of coming catastrophe. As thrown in the deep river, they would only show up when the river would dry to the point they're at.
See, that's why I always say study in the past will determine and tell us our future. You know what I mean? Learning, that's why I'm so into it now, because I think it's like a precursor to what's ahead or what's coming for us, man. And droughts, think about all the things we've talked about so far with the water levels and different things. El Nino, La Nina, going into those phases, different things like that. Man, we could be headed for some rough times ahead. So we kind of need to look back to see if there's a way that we can kind of prepare ourselves a little, at least, you know?
So, is it true? Is there a major famine really on the way?
Hope not.
Ancient Indian artifacts. Representing history, especially the ancient Aryan people who were present centuries ago, and some even dating back to the Ice Age. The ancient Indian artifacts are something explorers are always looking for in rivers with low water levels. Arrowheads, points, and Noah bells. They hold much more value to the researcher, as the oldest arrowhead could tell them about the 65,000-year-old civilization, while the latest one would be able to tell about civilizations around 6,000 years old, opening the doors for researchers to know more about the old defense strategies and the weapons which helped them in implicating them. And though their identification is quite hard, many Native Americans claim to have found them recently. Gold in dried river. Of all the things the drying rivers have shown, I think this is one of the coolest ones, as not a centuries-old fossil, nor a skull, but gold. Yes, you heard that right. People have been finding tiny particles of gold in the Fraser River, and surprisingly, it is not a new thing, as it began in the mid-1800s when a big number of gold miners rushed to the Fraser River in search of gold and continued finding it because of the nearby mines. Hence, raising the temperature of gold fever in the Fraser River, this gold hunt has once again started, pushing people to go and try their luck for one real time. Conjoined Trolls. Well, it looks like the water bodies of our planet are determined to shock us by revealing some of the most mysterious and rare aquatic creatures. A few years back in Indonesia, another oddity from the river shocked a fisherman after he found a queering two-headed fish trapped in his fishing net. The two-headed fish may sound like some mythical creature, but it was actually captured and, more strangely, found alive. Not only that, but one more fish with similar features was pulled out of a lake. The weird-looking fish was found joined from its abdomen with two fully developed heads. At first, it was thought to be mutated due to the contamination of the lake. However, biologists debunked this theory by declaring this Asian carp was born deformed. What you're looking at right now is the unearthing of a Great Wall fort that had been buried for hundreds of years. This mind-blowing discovery was made in China when a team of archaeologists was successful in finding a Qingping fort that was built during the Ming Dynasty, which spanned from 1368 to 1644 AD. Other than 2 well-preserved courtyards, there were also some ancient artifacts, including several statues, which were uncovered with careful brushing. According to researchers, this great fort was used by the ancient Chinese military for defense, and also its secondary function was to provide a peaceful trading site. The discovery was made near Yulin City in northwestern China, and it is believed to be a major find. Prehistoric Shark. A Japanese fisherman caught the catch of his lifetime when he found a very rare shark stuck on his fishing line. He brought the shark on a boat, and it turned out to be the living specimen of the prehistoric frilled shark. Once considered extinct, these species of sharks are known to live at the depth of more than
Like half shark, half eel, something like that.
600 meters, and are usually 2 meters in length. Though a golden catch for marine biologists, the shark was of no use to the fishermen, as it has less commercial value. The eel-like shark with sharp teeth was in very poor physical condition and was swimming in the shallow waters off the coast of Japan, near the city of Shizuoka. It died hours after being collected from the water.
I bet it did.
Stream of fish in dry land.
I remember this.
Not an ancient artifact, nor a mummified creature, but this time, nature decided to shock people as not one nor a few, but a huge shoal of fish came to the deserted area. Considering it a bad omen, though the people thought that there is some disaster coming their way, when examined by the biologists, they revealed that it happened due to a change in the river's flow, usually flowing in the same direction, because the water changed its direction towards the desert, probably due to human intervention. It brought the fish along with it. But luckily, they were quickly rescued from the deserted area and were sent back to the river, where they belonged. Thank you very much.
I still one of like the craziest, creepiest, weirdest things I've ever seen, man. And even though they attempt to explain it, it still is just, I still can't grasp it and understand what I'm seeing and witnessing right before my very eyes when I see it in these videos, man. It's the second time I've seen that, and each time I'm like, but how? You know what I mean? But how? How is that? Yeah. You know what I mean? But anyway, y'all get at me in the comment section, man, and let me know what you thought about a lot of these underwater discoveries and different discoveries, man, that we've seen so far, man. This world is pretty interesting, bro. We're just getting started. We're going to find a lot more crazy things than this. Y'all get at me in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Stay around and stay tuned. Till next one, I'm gone. Peace.